Hi friends, and welcome back to my channel. So today we are making a 4-ingredient cheesecake. This cheesecake is very easy to make, and today I'm going to show you the step-by-step process, and at the end I will also give you suggestions on how to help the cheesecake set more firm, so be sure to stay for the end of the video. Here's a quick view of how I presented the cheesecake and how it looks after it's set. So now let's get right into the video. The ingredients that we are going to need today are 1 Oreo crust or a graham cracker crust of your choice, 1 sweetened condensed milk, 2 8-ounce blocks or containers of cream cheese, and lemon juice. We are going to start by adding all the cream cheese into a mixing bowl, and before you do, make sure that your cream cheese is at room temperature so that we can avoid having a lumpy mixture, because after all, we are not going to bake this, so it's not going to have any opportunity to melt while it's baking, so make sure that it is at room temperature. And I'm going to mix on medium speed until the cream cheese softens and becomes a little bit fluffy, and this took approximately 2 minutes. After a few minutes of mixing, we are going to add in the entire can of sweetened condensed milk, and we're going to continue to mix until the cream cheese and condensed milk incorporate. Make sure to scrape in between mixing because we don't want any cream cheese to stick to the sides of the bowl and not be mixed into our batter. At this point, while my mixer is on medium speed, I'm going to slowly add in the lemon juice, and just make sure to do this very slowly. I found that if you add the juice too quickly, the batter will seem too loose and watery, and what we want to do is we want to make sure that all the ingredients incorporate to each other. So remember to do this slowly and be patient. And continue to mix until all of these ingredients incorporate and your batter looks a little bit fluffy and homogeneous. Now that the batter is ready, I am going to pour it into this Oreo crust. And I did mention in the beginning that you can use a regular crumb crust. That is totally fine. I do want to let you know that it is helpful if you pre-bake your crust. I did not pre-bake this crust, and as you already know, this is an icebox cheesecake, so basically we are not going to bake it, and it's a lot more helpful if you do bake your crust. I will leave details and notes in the description box and on my blog. And after we filled our graham crust about 90% full, we're simply going to smooth out the top of this cheesecake with a spatula. With this recipe, you will have some batter left over and you can do a few things with this. So I actually had 6 mini graham cracker crusts. So what I did is I divided the leftover batter into this 6 crusts. And in case you don't have any mini crusts, okay, saying crusts so many times in a row is a little bit confusing for my mouth, but let me move on. Where was I? So if you don't have mini crusts on hand, you can also pour the batter into a small pyrex dish, and once the cheesecake sets, you can simply spoon it out of the container to enjoy it with fresh fruit. And when all of my cheesecakes are ready, I am going to place them in the refrigerator for 3 to 4 hours so that they can set, or you can also place them into the freezer for 2 to 3 hours. And I personally love placing this cheesecake into the freezer and then allowing it to thaw for 10 minutes whenever I want a piece. In the refrigerator, it is also good, except it will be a little bit more wobbly or a little bit more loose than in the freezer. It's been a few hours and now I'm going to decorate my cheesecake, and for this part you can certainly use any fruit of your choice. You can even use pie topping or leave your cheesecake plain. I chose to top my cheesecake with fresh strawberries. And all of the ingredients that I've been using are from Amazon Fresh and from my local grocery stores using Instacart. This video is not sponsored, but these are the things that I have been using to get the groceries that I need to make tutorials or to cook or bake for my family. I'll leave all the links in the description so you can check out those delivery services in case you are curious to know where I've been shopping lately. Now comes the fun part where I get to try what I make and also show you how it looks. This cheesecake was the one I placed in the refrigerator, and as you can see, it is a bit wobbly, and like I said in the beginning, I do recommend pre-baking the crust so that it can hold itself up a little bit better than it did here. And I basically experimented and left the tiny ones in the freezer, and I will say I enjoyed the freezer cheesecake a lot better. So basically the freezer cheesecake is a lot harder. It is more of an ice cream feel, so you feel like you're eating cheesecake ice cream, but you also get the bite of the crust. So if you're able to, place one in the refrigerator and place one in the freezer so that you can try it for yourself. And basically here what I was doing is I was basically just staging a photograph, and as many of you know, I am staying with my mom and my mother-in-law for the meantime. So I'm making the best that I can with the stuff that I have at home. I don't have my ring light. My ring light is back in storage in Pittsburgh. So for now, these are the photos that you have been seeing on my Instagram. This is basically how I stage them. I just use the ingredients that I have. I use the things that I am provided. So if you guys want a more detailed video on how I photograph my cakes, or kind of like a behind the scenes look of how I do that, let me know in the comments below. I know this is not a traditional cheesecake, and I hope that in case you are having a craving and working with limited ingredients that you do try this recipe. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments below. Remember to give this video a like, share it with a friend, and also don't forget to subscribe before you go, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye!